CBC News Network.
If you're a young person looking for work these days, you may well do at least one internship first. Not all internships, though, are created equal. Some are treated as free labor, gaining valuable experience, while others are stuck making coffee all summer long. So how do you improve the situation for interns across the country? Claire Seaborn is the chair of the Canadian Intern Association. Great to have you here. Thanks. Internships are an interesting thing because you can see the value for a young person, but it can also feel a little bit like exploitation. So where would you how do you define the difference? When is it worth working for free?
Right. Well, I'd say that there's two kinds of bad unpaid internships. The first bad kind is where the internship lacks an educational component. So the intern's getting coffee, photocopying, doing that kind of thing. So they're not really learning much about the industry.
Yeah.
The other kind of bad unpaid internship is where the intern is replacing a paid employee. So they're doing work like writing press releases, meeting clients. So their work is deemed valuable enough to charge a client, but the intern's not valuable enough to be paid.
Wait a second. On that second example, isn't that exactly what they want? Because they can't get in that industry any other way, and now they're getting really valuable educational experience by doing what a paid person would. The next step would be, if they're any good at it, to get hired. I mean, I love this idea. It's a free slave grunt until you prove their worth. What's wrong with that?
The problem is, Kevin, that there's such high youth unemployment rates right now. Statistics Canada said that last summer, 37% of young Ontarians who were between the ages of 20 and 24 couldn't find summer work. So when there's such high youth unemployment rates, young people have no choice but to take an unpaid internship, and then we've got companies just exploiting their position within the market and just taking advantage of young people.
What should we do about it? I mean, CBC has a fairly extensive intern program, and they do real work. I mean, I think we sort of pride ourselves that they actually contribute hugely, and obviously, not surprisingly, they're huge contributors. Should we be paying them if they're doing work that we would have somebody else do during the year?
Right. So what employers need to do is choose between two things. They can either run an internship program that provides adequate training and that benefits the intern and actually meets the guidelines set out in Ontario's Employment Standards Act, or they can pay their interns and they will be treated more like a contract employee or an entry-level employee. But what the problem is when private sector companies are doing something in between, and they're exploiting young people who are perfectly capable of being paid, and they have enough experience, but companies are just taking advantage of youth unemployment.
Isn't there an element, and don't shoot the messenger on this one, Claire, but
unless you happen to have a gun, in which case.
Listen to this: 37% unemployment. A lot of these kids don't want to get They don't want to get out of bed till noon. They don't want to go plant trees like I used to. They don't want to move garbage. They don't want to do the hard jobs because they're lazy. And now here's an opportunity for them in an internship to actually get a chance to work in a real company. Listen, if I were running a business and I actually have used some interns, I'm going to take advantage of the situation. They're going to work for free. They're going to work hard. And if they're any good, I'll pick the ones that I actually like, and one day I may pay them. That's better than sitting in bed all day, isn't it?
Right, Kevin, I'm going to have to disagree with you because young people in my peer group are very hardworking and they're very eager to find employment. And they're very valuable workers as well. Many of them have undergraduate degrees, master's degrees, or even PhD students. So at what point do they not have enough experience? And in addition, the U.S. National Association of Colleges and Employers found that interns who work in a paid internship are more likely to be hired back with a paid job than unpaid interns. So I think that's because companies are really investing in young people by paying them during their internships, and then that results in them being hired back.
Okay, I'm going to turn the lens a little bit on you. I apologize, but the Canadian Intern Association, did you create this? Is this your own brainchild?
Yep, so at the beginning of the summer, around May, I was on a patio with a group of friends, and we were all talking about our internship experiences.
All unemployed by that time, right?
No, I was employed. Some of us were employed. We were talking about this issue as something that really affects our peer group. So we decided to found the organization. We've had 5 executive meetings at this point, and right now we're trying to raise funds to hire our own intern for the organization.
So to be clear, you created a job for yourself.
Well, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm working full-time.
So far. Oh, you're working full-time as well.
I am, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. It's a hugely important issue. Kevin's kidding.
No, he isn't.
You just made sure
no
intern will ever work for you.
Okay, I'll buy them a pizza at lunch. Does that count as employment pay?
We got to leave it there, but we appreciate you joining us. We'll check back. Claire Seaborn, chair of the Canadian Intern Association. Stay with us. We are back right after this.